welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really good. So I thought I would sit down in front of the camera today and do a bit of a chatty video. If you're new around here, then I'm Rebecca. I am a mum of three. This is my littlest, Roma, and she is nearly 6 months old. And she's decided that this is her new thing, is to shake her head like this. And then I also have Alfie, who is 9, and Woody, who is 5. And on my channel I share all sorts of different content, whether it be motherhood, fashion, food, travel, all sorts of different things. And I've been doing this for nearly 9 years now. And yeah, I absolutely love making videos of all sorts of different things and just sharing my general day-to-day life on here as well, with days in the lives and stuff like that, and routine videos. And I just thought I would sit down today and do a bit of a story time video. If you are like a regular subscriber and you follow me over on Instagram, you will know that we have recently been to Tenerife and we had a serious incident happen there, and it was honestly horrific. It was so scary. And so many of you on here that follow me on YouTube sometimes don't follow me on Instagram, and so I thought I would come on and sit down and just explain what happened in Tenerife and kind of tell the story, because I never actually went into full detail on my Instagram and explained what happened. I kind of vaguely discussed it and chatted about it, but I wanted to, excuse you, come on here and do a bit of a story time and explain what happened. And I think more for the fact that we go to Tenerife quite regularly, and I want people to be aware of this, and I want people to know to keep safe over there, and I just think it's very important. So I wanted to make this video and hopefully make you guys aware of it, and also just to warn you and make sure you stay safe, even when you're on holiday anywhere, because this could happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be Tenerife. But I just wanted to make this video and explain our story and what happened. So we went to Tenerife, the family of 5, our first holiday. We were all super excited and it was a lovely holiday. We had such a nice time. It was great. We stayed at the best Tenerife in Las Americas, and we usually stay around that area where the safari centre is. If you know of it, you'll know exactly where I mean. We usually stay around that area because we can walk to Costa Rica, we can walk to Los Cristianos, and there's lots of nice restaurants and bars around that area, and we just really like to be around there. So yeah, we stayed there and we were just there for a week this time. I usually do 10 days, but because it was Roma's first holiday, I thought we would just go for the 7 days. We went in the half term. We went 2 days before half term started, just because the price difference, that's another story. It's just ridiculous. So we went 2 days before half term. And we had such a lovely time. It was great. The boys really enjoyed jumping in the pool. Roma enjoyed going in the pool for the first time. It was very cold at that time of year, because it was February. But yeah, we had a lovely time. So the story is, I think it was, we got there on the Thursday, and on the Monday this happened. So we were just heading out in the afternoon for our afternoon walk, like we do. We usually go for a walk in the afternoon around 3 o'clock-ish, 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish. So we'll play like in the pool from like 11 till like then, and usually go for a walk. After we've had some lunch, we'll go for a walk. And so we were just heading out of our hotel. And you'll know yourself that anywhere in the world there's lots of homeless people around. There's people begging for money, people with dogs and stuff. And so you like shaking your head. So we were walking out of our hotel, and just outside the Best Tenerife Hotel there is a little supermarket, and outside that supermarket there was a homeless man. He was sat there with a dog, and obviously we have our own dogs. We love dogs, we love animals, and Alfie is the sweetest soul in the world. He is honestly so pure and so sweet and wants to do good for everyone. He always wants to help people. He's always just the sweetest little boy. If any of you follow me for a while, you'll know that, and my friends and family and everyone knows that Alfie is just the softest little soul. He's very sensitive, he's very sweet. And he said to us, "Mummy, Daddy, can we please go and give that man some money?" And of course we said, yeah, absolutely fine, Alfie. We'd done it previous nights with other different homeless people. Alfie had gone and given some money, or we'd all gone and given some money, but Alfie always was the one that instigated it. He always wanted to go and help and give some money. So he asked if we could, so we said yeah, of course. So I was looking in my purse for some euros, gave Alfie the euros, and him and Steve were holding hands and walking over towards the man and the dog. And the man has like a little hat out in front of him to put the money down. Oh God, honestly, it's making me get like anxiety thinking that I'm actually explaining what happened. It's really scaring me. So I was pushing Roma in the pram. Woody was kind of just floating around. He's the wild child. He was just all over the place, kind of like with me and with Steve. We were all there, very close by, all extremely close to Alfie. And Alfie was just about to put the money in the bowl, and this dog leapt up, jumped onto Alfie's leg. I feel like it's like a blur because it was that overwhelming and that much of like such a big shock. It kind of is a blur. I can't like remember exactly like how it all happened. I feel like I was just, I don't know, my mind just went blank because I was in such what's the word, distress maybe, and like overwhelming feeling of like my child is getting attacked. Like if Steve hadn't have been stood right next to him holding Steve's hand, it could have been so much worse. It was honestly the scariest experience we've ever experienced before with our children. It was just horrendous. So this dog leaped on Alfie and grabbed hold of him, bit his leg, and Steve had to rag Alfie off the dog and ripping all his shorts. Alfie's shorts were completely in bits. I will insert some photos so you can see. So if anyone doesn't like blood or anything, then maybe just look away, but I'll insert some pictures of what the bite looked like. Yeah, he literally just leaped up. Alfie was nowhere near this dog. He was putting some money in the bowl, which was like the hat, whatever, that was quite far in front of him, so it was nowhere near. Alfie went nowhere near this dog, and it literally just leaped up and jumped onto Alfie's leg. It was honestly so heartbreaking. And I was with the pram, I was screaming, and when Woody was stood in the middle of us both, kind of screaming, thinking, Alfie! Like he was screaming Alfie. I think Woody was honestly more traumatised than Alfie. Because he was just kind of stood there. I was with Roma in the pram, and then Woody was screaming, and I was trying to see Alfie, and then I was trying to get hold of Woody, and obviously trying to protect Roma. And this man with the dog, the homeless man, he didn't even get up. He literally didn't even get up. He didn't even move. He didn't get up. He didn't even say anything. He was just like, it was just crazy. And there was thankfully lots of people around us, so lots of people saw what happened. There was lots of other English families and stuff, and everyone was extremely shocked and screaming and scared, and people were running back into the little supermarket. It was just horrendous. It was such a horrible experience. Luckily, obviously, Steve got Alfie off the dog. We ran straight back into the hotel then once Steve had got Alfie. And we phoned the police in the hotel. The hotel reception phoned the police, and we were then told to get in a taxi and go up to the hospital, which is actually only about 2 minutes in a taxi from our hotel. We didn't know it was so close. Alfie was so brave. It was such a scary experience for him to have to go through. And so we got in the taxi, all of us, and we all went up to the hospital. And then the police actually came up to the hospital to meet us there and to speak to us. And they took lots of details from us, and we explained what happened and everything like that. And they went and spoke to the man that was outside the hotel, the homeless man. And because the homeless man had been shouted at by the hotel reception. Hotel reception must have gone out and was talking to him in Spanish, obviously shouting and getting irate with him because it was chaos. And this homeless man obviously didn't even say sorry or anything, didn't even do anything. So the reception went out and tried to tell him to move away, and the homeless man had said, I'm going to stay here, I believe in Jesus, I will wait here for the police. So the homeless man must have seen the police or whatever, and then they'd had a chat with him, and they had a chat with us, and nothing was done. If that had happened in the UK, obviously that dog would have been put to sleep probably, but the police didn't do anything. They just said that if they were to see that man and the dog again, and the dog didn't have a muzzle on, then they would take the dog away from him. Bear in mind, this has happened already, apparently. We found out after Alfie had just been bitten that this dog had already attacked someone before. It's quite a distinctive dog. I will insert a picture in case you are going to Tenerife. Please stay well clear of this man and his dog. He had a hat on, did the dog. and he was, I'm saying a pit bull looking type dog, like an American pit bull. Not that I'm giving any shame to them dogs, because it's not about the dog, it's not about the breed, it's about how it's been raised. Because we've got bulldogs, we've got staffies, they all get bad names and stuff, and it's not about the dog at the end of the day, it's about how it's brought up and how it's treated. So you can see from that picture what the dog looks like, so you can just be mindful and careful when you are, if you see them in Tenerife, just to be very careful. The staff at the hotel and at the hospital were amazing. They were so good, and they saw Alfie really quickly, and he, bear in mind we had to obviously pay up front because it was a private hospital over there, it's not the same as here. So we had to pay €300 up front, and then they charged us then whatever it was, I can't remember now, how much it was to have the consultation, and then we then went to get it all bandaged up and looked at, and then he had antibiotics and things. He didn't need any like tetanus jabs or rabies, because rabies hasn't been a thing in Tenerife for lots and lots of years, and tetanus and stuff he was covered from his vaccines that he's had from being a child. So he had some antibiotics, and he was all like, all his wound was checked, and it was all like cleaned and everything like that, and they put antiseptic cream on it and then just bandaged it up. And we had to go the next 2 days of our holiday, so we had to go on the Tuesday morning and then on the Wednesday morning, and then we came back home on the Thursday. So once we were back home, we then had to go back to our GP, and they had a look at the bite and cleaned it and everything like that for the next couple of days. But it's looking amazing now, it's healed so well, it's not hardly got any bruising or anything like that, and there's just 3 tiny little marks that are healing so well. So I'm so grateful and thankful that it wasn't as worse as it could have been, a lot worse basically, and I'm just so grateful that it wasn't. And he was so brave, and he's been so brave, and even now he's like not scared of dogs, and he says, "Mummy, I know it's not the dog's fault as well," which makes me so sad because he's just so sweet. And he was like, "I know it's not the doggy's fault, Mummy," and it's not, and it makes me sad because, like I say, we've got our dogs, and he was like, when we came home on the Thursday, and when we saw our dogs on the Friday morning when we'd picked them up from being away, he was crying. I was so excited to see the dogs. I'm so excited to see my doggies. My doggies love me, and it's just heartbreaking seeing your child in that situation and having to. And I just worry that it's going to affect him long term, but I'm hoping that it's not, because of the way he's been, and he's been so brave, and he doesn't talk about it or worry about it or anything like that, or say that he's scared or that he doesn't want to go here again or he doesn't want to go back to Tenerife or anything like that. I don't think it has affected him too much. But I just wanted to make this little story time to explain it all to you and tell you kind of what happened and how it all happened, and also to just make you aware and just to be cautious of any stray dogs, any homeless dogs. You have to just please be careful, because you just never know what they're going to be like or do. Even just being, we weren't even stroking it, we were nowhere near it, hardly, and it just leaped up. He had it tied around his leg with some rope, and imagine if he hadn't have even had it tied around his leg. It was just so scary, such a scary experience, and especially like being on holiday, it's not what you want to happen on your holiday. You want to have a nice time with your family, so it wasn't the greatest experience, and yeah, I'm just grateful that the hotel staff were so good, and the hospital were really lovely and kind and helped us as much as they could. Disappointing in the police that they couldn't do more than just give him a warning after it's already happened before. Yeah, it's very disappointing on their side, I think. But we are home, and we are safe, and we are alive, and I'm just glad that Alfie's okay. And he understands kind of that not all dogs are like that, and it's not the doggy's fault, which it's not, but it's also not nice that the doggy acted like that and did that. But yeah, I wanted to share that, and I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that if you are going to Tenerife soon, you'll keep safe, because yeah, it's not something that you want to be happening to you or your children. So I hope that you are all doing really well. Thanks so much for watching this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.